With the success of Spider-Man Homecoming, Marvel would begin work on a sequel. Instead of setting the film in New York like a majority of Spider-Man stories, Spider-Man Far From Home would be a globe-trotting adventure, pitting Spider-Man against one of his most famous antagonists. From Mysterio's many suit designs to cut illusion sequences, let's take a look at the many concepts and plot elements that were cut from Spider-Man Far From Home. Before we start, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and like the video. Anyways, let's get started.
Thank you, Ms. Parker, for having me. And thank you guys for having me.
The Iron Spider suit is one of Spider-Man's most popular costumes, mostly due to its unique red and gold color scheme and its 4 mechanical limbs. Originally in Spider-Man Homecoming, the designers experimented with the original Iron Spider design. However, they opted to go for something more original looking. This Iron Spider suit resembles his traditional outfit, but this time it's metallic and has a large golden spider logo. However, it seems like the designers considered altering the design quite a bit. Take a look at this concept, which takes the Iron Spider's already busy design and enhances it even more. You can see how the blue color has now been replaced by black, and how it dominates the whole suit, with the red sections barely present. This design is great, but many would say that it's too over-designed. With a new MCU Spider-Man film also means new Spider-Man suits that Disney can milk for merchandise.
It's a little tight around the old web shooter.
Parker.
Okay, I'll shut up.
The first of these new suits is the Night Monkey suit, an outfit provided by S.H.I.E.L.D. to shield Peter's identity as Spider-Man.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The suit appears more tactical than Peter's traditional outfit and is devoid of any spider motif. This design language is reflected in a majority of the concept art. Night Monkey still maintains the tactical aesthetic with the black and gray color scheme, the only major difference being the eyes, which are black tinted goggles instead of traditional white lenses. Despite Night Monkey being purposely devoid of any spider motif, some concepts give the suit a more traditional Spider-Man look. The spider logo is still present, and the eyes are much more traditional, the only real difference being the black eyes. In order to fight Mysterio in the final act, Peter creates a brand new costume. The suit keeps the same relative design as the Homecoming suit, with only a few minor cosmetic alterations. Many concepts of this upgraded suit don't look much different from the final film. You will notice small alterations, however, such as the addition of blue instead of black. One major alteration you'll notice is the addition of Iron Spider design elements. You can see how Spider-Man now has golden gauntlets and how the golden stripes run all throughout the body. This suit appears like a hybrid between his traditional outfit and the Iron Spider suit, with some concepts replacing the white color with gold altogether, helping the design pop even more.
See, that wasn't so hard.
Somebody get this stupid costume off me!
Mysterio is a character known for his theatricality and deception. His unique skill at illusions and trickery makes him one of Spider-Man's most interesting characters, and because of his unique appearance, he stands out even from Spider-Man's strangest looking villains. During the development of Spider-Man Far From Home, the creators wanted to stay faithful to his original look. However, they could not make a one-to-one recreation of his comic appearance because they felt that it would look ridiculous. Due to this, they experimented with many ways to ground the character in reality. This resulted in these concepts, which replaces Mysterio's mystical outfit with a contemporary or advanced-looking bodysuit. Mysterio in these concepts looks like he came straight out of Prometheus. The suit looks like it was made to travel dangerous and uncharted environments. The smoky fishbowl has also been reduced in size. It almost appears like something an astronaut would wear. This concept follows the same design language. It now appears like a green hazmat suit, and the helmet is considerably larger. These grounded designs for Mysterio are unique, but they stray too far from his comic appearance. Sometimes grounded approaches can lead to very unique creative additions, but not every character warrants a realistic approach to their look. Mysterio's charm comes from his exaggerated and mystical appearance, so it wouldn't be very great to change it up. Luckily, most pieces of concept art are much more accurate to his classic appearance, showing how this costume can work if adapted properly. Especially when it comes to this design, which really reminds me of how the character appeared in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. In other concepts, Mysterio still maintains his large fishbowl helmet, which is given striking visual touches, with the addition of thick smoke that conceals the user's face, adding to the character's sense of mystery and awe. Other concepts make slight alterations to Mysterio's color scheme and helmet, while still adding grounded touches. In these concepts, the fishbowl helmet is now purple, and the shape is no longer a fishbowl. This is because the designer experimented with a more head-shaped design in order to make it less ridiculous looking. However, he later realized that it just didn't work for the character. One way the creatives tried to make Mysterio's design more tolerable was by adding pieces of metallic body armor to complement his skin-tight outfit. While some concepts fully embrace this metallic aesthetic by giving Mysterio full-on body armor, some designs take this a little too far. The designers also played around with multiple versions of Mysterio's mocap suit. Many of them look similar to what we see in the final film, but others add a few interesting cosmetic additions.
Pause. Sorry. Yeah, can you just fast forward to the end?
Mysterio is almost always depicted as a character who plays an elaborate trick on others to achieve his goals. And in Spider-Man No Way Home, Mysterio uses the elementals to trick the world into thinking that he's a hero. While the elementals in this movie are nothing more than a bunch of mindless monsters made up of drones, they still serve as stand-ins for more classic Spider-Man villains such as the Sandman, Cyclone, Hydro Man, and Molten Man. When you actually take a look at the concept art for the elementals, they don't really stray too far from their final appearance. The only real noticeable differences are the extent of distortions on their body in the final movie. The more distortions they have, the more inhuman and terrifying they begin to appear. The elemental with the most distortions is the Earth Elemental, who in many concepts is either shown to have multiple limbs or stands on all fours. And in some concepts, they even give the Earth Elemental some vegetation on its body, which I personally think helps the design pop even more. While the elementals might serve as stand-ins for more classic Marvel villains, that doesn't stop the artists from having them resemble these classic characters. Take these concepts of the water elemental, for instance. You can clearly see his human features and hair through the mass of water. You can also see the outline of his clothes, just in case you couldn't notice the Hydro Man influence. This concept art gives Hydro Man a black bodysuit, which could be used to help contain his power. The Earth Elemental is also made to resemble the Sandman. You can see this through the outlines on his body, which is clearly meant to resemble Sandman's classic striped shirt. You can even notice the outline of Sandman's iconic hairline. While many of these final design choices never made it into the movie, it is still quite cool seeing the artists draw upon the villains inside Spider-Man's rogue gallery.
What's going on?
I know this isn't real.
Do you though?
MJ!
The illusion action sequence is one of the most creative action sequences in a Spider-Man film, perfectly showcasing how dangerous and difficult Mysterio could be in a fight. However, many of the illusions seen in the film are either shortened or were cut from the film entirely, meaning that what we see in the film is a fraction of its potential. In the concepts, Spider-Man is shown in a plethora of interesting locations and sequences, whether it's fighting a giant mosquito, fighting Mysterio on a giant chessboard, fleeing Mysterio's cape that now resembles a giant monster, fighting giant versions of Iron Man who emerge from giant doors, falling through a foggy, mystical forest, sliding down gigantic piano keys, and running on giant dominoes that seem to be falling over at a fast pace. Some illusion concepts or extended versions of what we see in the film. This concept showcases Spider-Man fighting multiple Iron Man zombies inside a gymnasium and eventually tries to run away from them through the school hallway. The school hallway and the Iron Man zombies appear in the film, but they are two separate scenes that don't connect with each other. Many concepts feature Spider-Man in a room filled with a bunch of spiderwebs, where Spider-Man is preyed upon by a gigantic spider or multiple smaller versions. This sequence must have been popular because it's featured in a multitude of different concept arts. This scene would have been terrifying to see brought to life on the big screen. However, in the actual film, the spider only briefly appears in a cool transition. I'm not entirely sure why this scene wasn't used, but it was likely cut to save up on time and to make the scene flow better. Spider-Man Far From Home also includes a plethora of unused sequences. In this concept, it appears Mysterio attempts to escape during the final fight sequence, leading to Spider-Man chasing him down. This concept appears to show Aunt May testing out Peter's reflexes, especially how accurate and reliable his Peter tingle is, an element that would come into play way later in the film. Other concepts feature alternate approaches to action scenes or action scenes that weren't in the film, alternate designs and cosmetics for the drones, drastically different designs and illustrations for Iron Man's mural, and slightly different set designs for scenes in the film. It's sad that most of these concepts couldn't make it into the final film, but it's always nice to look back at the unused ideas and see the many directions this film could have went.